Work hard and good things will happen. Alright, that's it. Go and be successful now. Oh, you want something more sophisticated? How about this one? Patience and persistence lead to success. Or how about this one? Success comes to those who take action. Or this one? Focus on what matters. Congrats, you now have all the best advice from every self-help book ever written. But of course, knowing what to do and actually doing it are two very different things. See, the truth is, successful people aren't doing anything you haven't heard of already. No, they do exactly this stuff, but consistently. In fact, they have systems to make it happen automatically. And in this video, I'll show you the 3 systems that made me go from someone who knows all the right things to do in theory to someone who takes action on that knowledge and actually gets results. Naval Ravikant said that all the returns in life, whether in wealth, relationships, or knowledge, come from compound interest. But compound interest can be brutal. You get barely anything for months, even years, then all of a sudden returns skyrocket out of nowhere. But only if you keep investing, if you keep doing the necessary work the entire time while getting basically 0 results. Successful people realize you don't get to your goals by obsessing over them. Instead, you need to flip the equation and ask yourself what you need to put in, what you need to do to get the outcome you're looking for. Because what you put in is entirely in your control. You've heard people talk about systems versus goals before. That's what this distinction is all about. A system is just an input that's running on autopilot, a process, routine, or habit that you do repeatedly. It takes something you can control and makes it happen without relying on memory or motivation. And that's how ordinary people like you and me can achieve extraordinary results. Alright, so let's get into it. The first system is all about planning. Look, everyone tells you to plan your day, and they're all right, it's important. But the way most people do it has some issues. People treat it like a grocery list. They write down 20 different things as though they all matter equally, and then wonder why they feel busy but ineffective. Here's what I do instead. Every night, I create a short to-do list for the next day. But I don't leave it at that. I narrow the list down until I'm left with just one thing. A single task that would make tomorrow win even if nothing else gets done. And then I don't do anything else before I get that one thing done. I learned this from Gary Keller's The One Thing, and it's simple but game-changing. This is what planning is all about. You're trying to figure out how to use limited resources, your time and attention, in the best way possible. And hyper-focusing on a single, most important task at a time takes that to the next level. It ensures that every day you work on something that moves the needle. And I also do this beyond daily planning as well. I do weekly reviews every Sunday, monthly check-ins, and quarterly planning sessions. And I ask myself the same question. What is the most important thing this week, month, quarter, etc.? And also just generally reflect and reassess things. Each level informs the others. It all connects and removes the guesswork. And it translates your vague goals into crystal clear, actionable next steps for you to focus on. And I actually recently unpacked this whole idea in much more detail in a separate video. So if you want to dive deeper, check the link in the description. But before you do that, let's move on to the second system. Building what people nowadays like to call a second brain. It's really not such a big deal. I just call it making notes. But again, it is important. The thing is, right now, you probably have at least 5 urgent things bouncing around in your head. Maybe it's a project idea, something you need to buy, a conversation you need to have, or just some random insight. And where do all those thoughts go? Well, by default, nowhere. They just float around, taking up mental real estate until you just forget about them. David Allen, who created the Getting Things Done method, said, "Your mind is for having ideas, not for holding them." Every thought you're trying to remember is like having a browser tab open in your brain. 1 or 2 is fine, but 20, 50, that's going to cause a lot of lag. So here's what I do. Whenever something seems important, I write it into my notes. Random shower thoughts, book recommendations, recipes, weird business ideas at 3 a.m. Doesn't matter. It all goes into my notes. The key is to make capturing things completely frictionless, so you actually do it. Whether that means using an app on your phone, creating voice notes, carrying a pocket notebook, whatever works for you. And this isn't just about remembering stuff. Something amazing actually happens when you write down your thoughts. It's like you're having a conversation with yourself, but clearer than usually when it's all just up in your head. When I write down ideas I have, I often realize they're way worse than I initially thought. But at least now that they're out there, I get a chance to fix them. Leslie Lampert said it best. If you're thinking without writing, you only think that you're thinking. Writing is thinking. But here's where most people mess up. They believe they need the perfect system before they start. They research how to build a second brain or Zettelkasten, all these methodologies, and meanwhile the thoughts are still evaporating. Don't make that mistake. Start simple. The best note-taking system is the one you actually use. Like I said before, make it frictionless. Once you build the habit of capturing ideas, then you can get fancy with organization. I've been doing this for years now, and my mind is so much clearer than it used to be. I'm not trying to remember anything because everything important is safely stored and I can find it when I need it. Okay, and then the third system is about a weird trick in human psychology you can actually use. When you make something measurable, it somehow makes it a lot easier to care about it. Let me show you what I mean. A while ago, I wanted to improve my sleep hygiene. I'd gotten into the habit of late work sessions that would extend deeper and deeper into the night. Every morning I'd regret it, but every night I'd do it again. So I did what most people do. I told myself I should go to bed earlier. Surprise, nothing changed. This went on for weeks until I tried something different. I started tracking my bedtime. Just the numbers. That's it. No goal, no judgment. Just Tuesday, I went to bed at 1 a.m. Up at 7:30 makes 6.5 hours. Within a week, I went from barely getting 6 hours per night to averaging 7.25. Not because I was trying harder, but because the act of measuring created this psychological pull I couldn't ignore. It's like when you put a fitness tracker on someone who's never exercised. Suddenly, they're walking circles in their living room to hit their step goal before midnight. Why? Because once you measure something, it becomes visible, and that makes it real. And this works for literally anything. I track whether I did my daily planning, just a yes or no checkbox. I turned it from something I did sometimes to an everyday habit. I track my writing sessions, not word count, just did I sit down and write? Suddenly, no more waiting for inspiration. The key is to measure behaviors, not results. Track did I write, not did I write something brilliant. Track did I do cardio, not did I lose weight. This lets you build momentum, which is what systems run on. Now, whenever I want to develop a new routine, one of the first things I ask myself is, how can I make this measurable? And I actually have a spreadsheet where I track work sessions, meditation, journaling, maybe a little too many things, honestly, but what can I say? It helps. You definitely don't need to go that extreme, but even tracking one simple thing can completely transform your relationship in the way you approach building a new habit. So that's the third system. And here's one more thing. The truth is, to make all these systems actually take shape and work in your life, you need a foundation. You need to create the space in your life for the systems to exist. I'm talking about spending significant time with yourself, alone, regularly. Blaise Pascal said, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. And he was on to something. For me, this is at least 30 minutes every evening, no matter what, where I do my daily planning, for example. Now, if you're thinking, I'm already alone plenty, there's a difference between being alone scrolling on your phone and being alone with your thoughts intentionally. This is how you can actually have the mental bandwidth to implement these systems. Every meaningful improvement in your life requires some initial thinking and setup. If your schedule is jam-packed from morning to night, when exactly is that supposed to happen? You need a protected space where you can work on your life instead of just living in it. And this is the foundation for that. Look, I can't promise you you'll 10x your life overnight. But I can tell you that if you actually get these systems to run in your life, you'll be more focused, less stressed, and actually will make consistent progress on the things that matter to you. And if that goes on for long enough, that is basically a 10x life. So here's what I want you to do. Pick one system to implement, just one, and start today. If you want a detailed quick start guide for any of the systems I discussed, I put together a one-page cheat sheet to help you get going. If you're interested, link is in the description. Remember those fortune cookies from the beginning? The advice isn't the problem. It's fine. It's just incomplete. Work hard? Sure, but let your systems do the heavy lifting. If this helps you out, make sure to subscribe. And if you want to learn how a random $1 item has leveled up my ability to do focus work like nothing has ever before, check out this video next. Thanks for watching.